From the age of 12 to the age of 16, basketball was all that I wanted to do. Everything in my life revolved around basketball, and I was obsessed with becoming the best basketball player that I could possibly be. I'm from a decently small town in Canada, so to be able to actually go to camps and get coaching, I'd have to go to bigger cities quite often. And especially in the summer, I'd go to a lot of camps that'd be like a week long or 3 days or whatever. And it would give me a lot of good experience and get me a lot of good competition to other players my age and just get me out playing against different people. I remember one of the first camps I ever went to, I was extremely nervous to go there. And as soon as I walked in, you could tell which players were extremely confident in themselves, and you could also tell who was extremely arrogant. There was this one kid who, whatever drill you were doing, if you were his partner, he would bring you down to try and bring himself up. Whenever we would scrimmage, he'd tell you, you ain't shit, you ain't got this, you're gonna miss, that ain't your shot, why are you shooting that? And no matter what you're trying to do, even if you're on his team, he'd be like, don't shoot that, give me the ball. And just bringing everyone around him down. And this man thought he was the cream of the crop. Thought he was the best player in there. He thought that no one could touch him, and he had an overall detrimental effect to everyone he played with. Playing with someone like that is just such a pain in the ass, because yes, they might make some shots here and they might bring themselves up, but the overall effect that they have on their team is detrimental. And when I was on his team, we lost almost every single game because he would not pass the ball, and he was just so full of himself that he thought no one else on his team could help him. A couple years later, when I was 16, I was fortunate enough to go to this run, which is like a pickup game with a lot of guys who were playing in college and some ex-professional players, guys who played from overseas and guys who were still playing professionally. When I got there, I was extremely intimidated by all these guys because they were big guys and they were extremely skilled, but there wasn't one of them that displayed arrogance. All of these guys were amazing players, but they were confident. All these guys were amazing players and they knew it, but none of them were arrogant. They could pull up from half court and drain it every single time, but never once would they say that out loud. They simply knew it. And it was an extremely beautiful experience to be a part of this. And it made me so much better as a player because I was exposed to this different level of authentic confidence, because all these guys had been putting in work for years and they were extremely skilled, but none of them displayed arrogance, and they simply knew that they were good enough to be there, and they brought other people up around them. When you look online, there are so many influencers who a lot of people think are arrogant but are actually confident, and a lot of people who are arrogant that a lot of other people see as confident. But there's a few key differences between these concepts. True confidence is rooted in authenticity. It comes from knowing that you've put the time in and knowing that you've had the experiences and the failures and the wins, and you've put time and work in to your craft, to whatever you want to be good at. And it comes from this security of knowing that, yeah, I've been working at this, and yeah, I've been improving at this, and I know that I am capable of this. Now, arrogance is based in insecurity, and it comes from needing validation from other people to validate the qualities that you believe you have or think you might have, and it comes from getting their approval to think that you're enough. Arrogance isn't based in preparation, it isn't based in practice, it's just based on the belief that you think you're better than other people just because you're you. And arrogance comes from bringing other people down to your level. If you think you're up here, you want to put other people down so you can seem like you're higher. Or there's someone better than you, you're going to pull them back down so you're on the same level so you can be higher. But confidence simply comes from being up here because you know that you put the work in, and it comes from within. You don't need to bring other people down to your level because you're simply where you're at because you've put the work in. Social confidence has always been an extremely big struggle of mine. It was never a problem for me in sports or music because I'd work extremely hard at whatever I wanted to do, especially in school. If we had a test, I would prepare for it. I'd study the shit out of it so I know I'd actually be prepared for it. But when it came to social situations, especially when I was going through middle school and the beginning stages of high school, I had no confidence because one, I didn't have a lot of friends, and two, I didn't know how to prepare for these things. I didn't know how to practice. I didn't even know social skills were something you could actually level up. I just thought you were born with it or not. And I figured I was bad at it, so I wasn't confident enough in myself to actually be able to go approach different people and actually start working on my social skills. That being said, you may be thinking, well, I don't have the experience, so I can never be confident. But the thing is, confidence is earned. And before you actually get to confidence, you have to have some courage to put yourself out there and actually be uncomfortable and be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Confidence doesn't just come with time. It comes with time and practice. whatever it is you want to be good at, whether it's YouTube or music or school or social interactions, if you want to get good at it, you have to go practice. You may know that you can be good at something, and you may know that you have what it takes to get there, but first you actually have to go get the experience so you can get to where you want to go. You can't just get there solely based on the fact that you know you can do it. You have to actually go put the work in. Anyone can get good at anything if they put their mind to it and dedicate their life to it. They just have to be willing to put the time in. No matter how bad you think you are at talking or in social situations, trust me, you can learn to get better. I've been there. I was horrible. I was downright atrocious, but I worked on it, and it was so scary in the beginning to actually start to begin to talk to new people. But I worked on it, and I worked on it for years, and I didn't get good at it overnight. I had to keep working at it and keep practicing. I'm still nowhere where I want to be yet, but I've actually put in the practice and I've put in the time, but I've always known that if I've kept on this path, then I can get to where I want to go. In our modern day, everyone wants everything to be instant, and it takes patience to get extremely good at anything. And we're not just talking months or 1 year's worth of work. It takes years, if not decades, to actually become extremely good at something. I know I haven't given you a lot of actionable steps in this video because it's very hard to take something as grand as confidence and break it down into what it truly is, but it truly comes from living like you deserve to be confident. It's like respect. You have to earn it. You can't just go out and I'm gonna command confidence and I'm gonna be confident and just decide one day that you're gonna be confident. It does not work like that. You have to go out and earn it and prove it to yourself that you deserve to be confident, and take the risks and face the challenges and put in the work so that you can actually get to where you want to go. It's not gonna be easy. It's gonna take time, and it's gonna take a lot of effort. And don't hide it with arrogance. Don't believe that you can just be a dick to everyone and put everyone down so that one day you'll get to confidence. But I'm just gonna be arrogant right now, but that's not how it works. You need to have it come from a place of authenticity, and that only comes with time and effort. And if you stick with it long enough, you're eventually gonna get it. So just stay on your path.